let me tell you about an organization that needs your help year-round. Jeremiah Program is breaking the cycle of poverty 2 generations at a time by empowering single moms to pursue college degrees while their children receive high-quality early education. And your gift provides critical support that makes success possible. So go on over to jeremiahprogram.org/Austin to give today and learn how you can be part of the movement to disrupt generational poverty. Again, that's jeremiahprogram.org/Austin. International comedy legend Susie Eddie Izzard is in town, but it's not to perform stand-up or for a festival. It's for a solo performance of a Shakespearean tragedy, and people are eating it up. So today on CityCast Austin, we find out what brought her here and why she finds Austin so groovy. It's Thursday, February 12th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here with the amazing, incomparable, wonderful Eddie Izzard. Eddie, thank you so much for being here. Hi.
Hi, how are you? And I've added, as you can see from my screen, I've added Susie on now, so people can choose.
Susie, do you prefer Susie?
Yeah, I'd say go with Susie, but my brother goes Eddie, then he goes Susie, then he goes Susie, then he goes Eddie. So it's there are no fault lines here. It's just all fun. But I'm just expanding. I'm gonna get bigger and bigger. It's like Millie Bobby Brown, and then she's now Millie Bonnie Bon Jovi and Billy Bob Thornton, and there's people with the 3 name people. I've joined the 3 name people group.
I think you absolutely need 3 names. Susie Eddie Izzard. It's a tongue twister too. I love it.
Yeah.
Even better. So you have performed literally all over the world, but anytime someone that is gender fluid or part of the LGBTQIA community at large in any way, and they perform in Texas, especially for as long as you're here, I like to ask whether or not there's ever hesitation coming to a state that's not considered safe for anyone that's outside of the hetero norm.
Well, it's a curious thing because when I started touring in the United States, I didn't come to the southern states because I thought, well, people are not going to swing for what I'm doing. And then people from Texas, above all, people from Texas, from the southern states, kept traveling up to other northern states, up to Chicago, probably more often than not, or LA, or wherever it was, and say, why don't you come down to Texas? And I said, Texas, really? And it seems that Texas has this split. There are a lot of very positive, groovy people here, and there are some people who are not so groovy. So I just link up with the groovy people. So, but I don't want to live in fear. So I don't want to say, oh, I better not go there, better not go there, better not go there. I've played every state in America.
Wow.
And I've 46 countries around the world. So I'm not someone who's here to say, I'm going to stay at home. I'm just going to go out. And Austin, Texas is very groovy anyway. So I just don't, I think if you know history going back to the Civil War, Sam Houston was the guy saying, let's not have this Civil War. This is not the good idea to go. He was against Texas seceding, and he didn't think it was a good idea. He didn't think it would work well for Texas or the South. So interesting, because I didn't know that about Sam Houston. But I do inhale my history, and so I find out these things. And so it's great. We've been doing great here in Austin, Texas, and we've got these 2 extra shows now, Friday and Saturday of this week. I
saw that. Yes.
And we sold out all the other ones last week. So if people like to come, and if they like their Shakespeare, if you're a fan of Shakespeare, I think you'll like this. And if you're not a fan of Shakespeare, I think you'll like this. That's how it's worked, because it's visceral. We have the beauty of the poetry and the story and the characters in it. It is me playing all the different roles, but so that is a little different. But my training was very similar to Shakespeare's actors. They didn't go to drama school. I didn't go to drama school. I was trained on the streets of London, 4 years a street performer, and that's very similar to how they were playing. If you've ever looked into how Shakespearean actors did it, they weren't indoors until, was it towards the end of Shakespeare's career or getting into the early 1600s? It was all outdoors, all performances at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon using the natural light. And that's what I used to do. So I bring all that to the show. And if you're not a fan of Shakespeare as well, I think you'll like it because we've made sure that the adaptation has the beauty of the poetry, but is also grabbable. There's one thing that I am passionate about is that I do not feel that Shakespeare wrote his plays so that people could sit there and go, I have no idea what he's on about. There is poetry in it. Back in the Elizabethan times, they obviously weren't talking in poetry. They were talking more like the gravediggers, if you know the scene of the gravediggers who just talk in natural prose, which they call doggerel, I think, but it's actually just talking. And if poetry is good, it should be almost like using the wrong words to say the thing in the right way. I think this is almost my definition of poetry. And so that's what we do. My older brother, Mark, who made the adaptation, we worked very hard to get this. And Selena Cadell, my director, we fought tooth and nail over exactly what should be in which words, which things, which phrases.
Yeah.
Shakespeare never signed off on any version. There were 3 different versions.
Wow.
And he didn't sign it. It's really odd. You think you've got to have an ego to write all this stuff, but he just didn't go, this version I approve of. And
he didn't go that far.
No, other people published their works, but he didn't. So
I like this quote. You said you're doing Shakespeare, quote, brought Shakespeare to a point to where hopefully anybody can grab it.
Yeah.
And I love this idea of people being able to grab onto something that sometimes seems inaccessible. But that's got to be hard when you're playing every single character. So what's been the most challenging part, if any, of playing 23 characters?
Well, the 23 characters is a slight, it's a number people grab onto, and maybe, we shouldn't have, it comes up in the list and people do grab hold of it. It's 8 main characters. So it's really, I'm playing 8 characters, and then there's another, what's that? There was 15 ancillary characters. Some of it only have one line. Little page boy comes on and introduced to play a king and queen, and he only has one line. But so it's what I've done is as I move between the characters, I created this architecture that as I walk across the stage, people can see me flipping from one character to another. And there's a physicalization that I changed. There's a slight vocal change. These are not caricatures. These are characters as much as I can play. But any theatrical production needs 30% of the audience's imagination. If you think of a film, you could sit back and watch a film, and probably 95% is you have to imagine, okay, that two-dimensional screen, or if it's in 3D, that's not really there. I'm really in a room, but the rest of it, you can really see buildings and things and people hitting other people and whatever is going on. You can really see that. But in a theater, there's curtains, there's things. It's you have to bring 30% of your imagination to it. And for me, maybe my show is 35% imagination. It's maybe an extra 5%.
I love that you casually say it's actually only 8 characters and 15 ancillary characters. And you also did the same thing with Great Expectations. You played a bunch of characters for that.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of your comedy. And so this makes sense to me. It kind of speaks to your kind of general conversational comedy style. Does it feel like you found like another niche that's honestly just perfect for you?
I think so, but as you'll know, and listeners and watchers around the world who are watching this will know, a lot of people are now doing solo performances. I think being able to set up your own creative production is really tricky. If you're a certain look of a male or female actor, you can get a thing greenlit, but there's a lot of bucks in that. There's a lot of millions going in there, and you've got to make 3 times the amount of your budget to be able to get profit and all this kind of thing. Whereas if you can do a solo performance, it's much easier. You don't have to say, are you available? Are you available to do this? We're going to tour it. Are you available? No, it's just yourself. So a lot of people are doing that. And I do think that maybe I am well suited for this because I in comedy, I trained myself to play multiple characters. I had come from sketch comedy. Initially, when I was 7, as I've mentioned just briefly there, I wanted to be an actor, just an actor. There wasn't comedy. I love comedy, but I didn't know you could specialize in it. And I just wasn't getting any roles at school, probably due to my dyslexia and the inability to do sight reading auditions with any kind of grace. I just can't get the words. I find it difficult to get the words from the page, through my brain, out of my mouth in any kind of relaxed fashion as any character would portray it. It always stumbled out. So they just didn't give me any roles, even though I was really pushing and pushing and pushing. So then I went into comedy. I could set up my own things, and that was much easier. And because Python were my comedy gods, I was playing these different characters with different voices, whoever they were, and you used to change costumes. And then in my stand-up, it turned into keeping those character changes, but just didn't need to change costumes. So it was so much easier. And then I realized I could do it in drama. So yeah, it's a great place for me to be. But a lot of other actors are doing these solo shows.
It's kind of amazing. I love it. I can't wait to see it, honestly. Hey y'all, it's time to make your voice heard. Austin continues to face significant infrastructure challenges like aging facilities, growing service demands, and affordability pressures. To organize and prioritize, representatives across city departments scored hundreds of individual project requests using criteria like timeliness and readiness, critical need, and efficiency. And then through a structured and collaborative review process, city staff refined this need assessment into their 2026 bond initial draft recommendation list. Y'all, this list totals $700 million. And then on January 21st, that list was submitted to mayor and council. So what does this mean for you? Community members are invited to a series of open house meetings to learn about proposed bond projects and share feedback that will help ensure these investments reflect Austin's most pressing infrastructure needs and community priorities. So RSVP and learn more at austintexas.gov/bond2026. Imagine this, your next podcast recorded in the same studio where you're hearing this right now. That's Trick Hat Workway. Trick Hat is Austin's most hospitality-driven co-working space. And yes, they've got a pro-level podcast studio designed for creators, teams, and businesses who want high-quality recordings without the stress of hunting down space or gear. Just show up, plug in, and hit record. Outside the studio, Trick Hat's got you covered. From private offices to dedicated desks, they offer flexible co-working options to fit any business or entrepreneur's needs. And can we talk about the perks? Freshly brewed coffee from Manana, endless snacks, and crispy Diet Cokes. But what really makes Trick Hat different is the energy. From weekly networking opportunities to community trick chats, it's more than a place to work. It's where Austin comes to connect, create, and have fun doing it. Whether you're producing your next big idea or just need a space that feels good to work in, Trick Hat Workway is waiting for you, where it's always old Austin, new tricks. Visit trickhatworkway.com to learn more today. Hey y'all, by now you've probably heard me raving about Window Nation. I've told you about the 1,500 styles and colors, their measuring process for the perfect fit, the lightning quick installation, and the lifetime warranty. But I haven't told you about what others are saying about them. They have over 45,000 five-star reviews. They have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They have a 96% customer satisfaction rating, and Window Nation was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. With a track record like that, you can be sure you're getting high-quality, affordable windows. And you know I have to mention, you can get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. Plus, Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows free sale is still going on right now. And if that's not enough, if you act now, you can get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. So go ahead, schedule a fast free estimate now at windownation.com. Austin is one of a select few cities in the U.S. that is going to have a chance to see Hamlet live. And I want to know why Austin made your list specifically.
Well, I mean, Austin is considered a groovy city, and it's your capital city, but it's also a groovy city. So that is probably part of the reason why. But Dallas and Houston, I've played a lot before, and San Antonio as well. Texas is you just get huge audiences coming from the groovy side of of the lane. But the actual choices of where and what's available goes from my promoters and producers. But I do feel I could play most towns and cities in the States and around the world, and enough positive people will be there, and or they'll drive in from other places. I know people like in Australia. I was playing in Perth, and people drove down from Darwin. It was a 6-hour drive to come and see a show. So I've tried to do this over the years, to do stuff that's hopefully grabbable, visceral, and good work, and that people say, hey, I'm going to make a point of getting to that. I'll fly, I'll travel, I'll drive, whatever it is, to get there and see it. So that's how it is. So Austin has just worked out perfectly for us to come and play here, and it's you've got to have availability in the theater. Sometimes 'cause that's the perfect theater in that city, but they're not available. Can we go to this city or this? People could drive over, they could fly in. It's that kind of thing. Your distances are huge compared to our European distances. Yeah. So and you guys
sprawling.
just take that for
it's not a big deal. It's just 8 hours. You can drive 8 hours fast.
Exactly. It's that's the thing that we go, this is a long way. And in Europe, we're all squashed together, but we've got all these people. It's fun. I like, I've always wanted to like everywhere in the world. I have that kind of mind that I don't want to say, I like this, but I don't trust those people. We have to be brave and curious and not fearful and suspicious. So that's how I try and live my life.
I love that. Now, you are a marathon runner.
Yes.
Like a big deal marathon runner. I mean,
I do multiple ones, slow speed, but multiple.
Yeah, you did like 27 in 27 days or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I did 27 in 27 days in South Africa as a salute to Nelson Mandela. He did 27 years in prison. I thought I could give him 27 days of my life, Yes, and that was quite a thing. I did 43 and 51 days in the UK to start off with. I took a day off a week, then realized the days off don't really help me. So I just now run them 30 to 32. So yeah, multiple marathons. And sometimes doing a double marathon on the last day. That's what I did in South Africa.
So I have to ask you, because Austin is a running city and you're going to be here for a while. Are you going to be doing any runs around Lady Bird Lake or getting out and doing any runs?
I'm afraid I would. I absolutely would. But 3 months ago now, I smashed my knee.
Oh, no.
It was one of these happenstance accidents. Boom, went down, quadricep tendon breach, rupture. Actually, they ruptured. So very good surgeon in London with our National Health Service. He went in, and if you're part of the National Health Service in Britain, it's for free, and they do this. And he mended my knee, which is now in rehabilitation, and I have to cycle every day. So I cycle. I'm not allowed to cycle on a outside bicycle yet. It's coming back. It's about 80, maybe 85% well now, but it's still got a bit of a way to go. So I can't run them, but I will be back doing marathons, and that will happen. And so it's good to have a motivation. That's what we need, positive motivation. And I'm constantly up for doing double positives. When you think there might be negatives happening in the world, then do a double positive. Don't do a single positive, do a double positive. So that's why I perform now in French and Spanish and German as well.
Wow.
To make connections, not break connections. That's my thing.
Now, we have a pretty good comedy scene here in Austin. Will you have time to see any shows while you're here?
I should. I'm slightly wary about going into. There's an improv place I keep walking by on the way to the State Theatre, and I would like to, but I haven't arranged it yet. But
okay.
I feel there might be a pressure going to a stand-up place, but I'd like to see some improv. But yes, it's. Yeah, I don't want to do anything announced. I just want to sort of sneak in and watch.
What a treat!
But yeah, that used to be so much of my early days.
What a treat that would be.
Yeah, improv. I love improv. It's some of the best times I've ever had doing group improv with different people all around the world. Yeah.
What do you want people to know about what they are about to see? What is something that you want Austinites to keep in mind when they walk through that door?
They don't just it's a theater show. I am playing all the roles, but if you trust me, and in the first 5 minutes you'll get the hang of it. It's only occasional people say, where's the flying car? I can't understand. I thought there were other people. Some people said, I thought there were other people in this. No, it is a solo show. There can't be other people in the solo show. You just have to read the thing in it, and it's all there. We have a little thing that we give out, little leaflet, and it's got a QR code, and it explains all the characters and how they link together, so we can give you that direction on it. But we've had people come who've never seen Hamlet before, and we've had this wonderful thing walking out. This is Ed Hall, the artistic director of Chicago Shakespeare Company, and he said somebody walked out saying, "I get it for the first time. I get it."
I love that.
We're trying to make it visceral, this thing, and we're not dumbing down. It hasn't. The beauty of the poetry is all there, but I just do believe that Shakespeare wanted people to be moved by his plays, to laugh, to cry, to have a visceral experience, and not to sit there going, "I don't know what he's on about now. What's it doing? Who's this guy? What's it?"
Yeah.
I just don't think that's how he wrote it. He couldn't have. That'd be a crazy way to do a thing. But people have rewritten and changed and things, and the printers, when they printed out versions of the folios, and they would leave things out because it didn't fit, or they changed letters in, because people say, did he write it? Did he do it as a collaboration? Was it already written and he rewrote it? Did other people write it and it's not actually him? Doesn't matter. Let's serve the play, make that play work, that story work. The story of Amleth, it's the legend of Amleth, who is not a myth person, but a legendary person who apparently did exist in the 1000s.
Do you have any advice for all of the young, budding Austin comedians that are just looking to get their start, and maybe they don't know where to start?
This is for comedians or actors or anybody doing things creative. This might be a whole thing for work. The key thing is determination, determination, determination. The 3 Ds. That is it. It is. Everyone starts. If you talk, I think you talk to anyone on the planet who started in whatever area it is, and they could see other people. Oh yeah, they do good work, and I think they could cut through, and they could do good work. They could cut through, and whoever it is, some people just go, this is not working. I'm going to check this in and go do something else. And it's determination, determination, determination is the only thing that can get it moving forward. There's nothing guaranteed. It's really tricky. You can't say, well, if you do this for X period of time, then they will bring you a career. But that's the thing, is I just stayed in there and stayed in there and stayed in there. It was 11 years between dropping out of university and my career getting somewhere.
Wow.
But it taught me stamina. So that's good. And you see some kids, that kid's 15, they're just taking off, they're around the world. They're 16. I wanted that to happen when I was 15, 16, but it happened when I was 30. So, but in the end, I prefer it this way because I know how to push for something and push and change, push and then push and come back and try it that way, this way, the other way. But it's determination, determination, determination. Determination will pull talent out of you, because I don't think I had overt latent talent sitting on the surface. I had to draw it out of myself and train it up, which could be the same for a number of people.
That's perfect. Susie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. This has been, honestly, please excuse the cursing, but this has been a fucking delight. This has been one of...
Well, fucking
Yeah, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Very good. Cheers. Good to talk to you.
Before we say goodbye, I cannot wait to see y'all at our trivia night tonight at Stargazer. We'll gather at around 7 p.m. and mix and mingle for a little bit, and then at 7:30 sharp, we're going to kick off our game. Now, bring your Austin and pop culture knowledge. Bring your friends. This event is open to everybody. But if you're a CityCast Austin member, you know you get those special perks. So head to our show notes for today's episode for a link to RSVP if you haven't already, and we will see y'all there. That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to Susie's shows in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, please tell your friend that loves Susie Eddie Izzard. Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our CityCast Austin newsletter. And again, we hope to see y'all tonight at our neighbor event. But if we don't and you can't make it, you can still support us by becoming a neighbor today at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.